Alrighty, so like we talked about in the first video, we believe that there are three key areas to target when it comes to healthcare reform. The first of which, and this is the one that Pinnacle is working on, is improving the effectiveness of primary care delivery in this country, making it the centerpiece of the United States healthcare system. That's one. The second is to gradually improve what we call the health culture in our country. And that's the one, like we talked about last time, we're going to need your help for. And then the third one, and this is the one where most of the money is getting blown out of the system. This is why your Tylenol in the emergency room costs $150. This is the healthcare industrial complex. The hospitals, the insurance companies, the pharmacy benefit managers play this game, and we're going to be talking about the game that they play over the course of the next few videos. But before we get to that, let's talk about the rot at the core of that entire system. And it's based on poor economic principles, because when it comes to the services that these providers and hospitals provide, they're not transparent when it comes to the price. So this is why if you go to the hospital and you ask how much a procedure or a hospitalization is going to be, they can't tell you. They don't actually know, because it just depends on what insurance company you have and what deals they have with the insurance company, whether or not they're a network, a bunch of things like that. So you can't price shop like you would at a grocery store. And when you can't price shop, your decisions in the healthcare system have much less power, because you can't make the hospitals compete with each other when it comes to the price. So for decades and decades, all of the negotiations for the services between hospitals, pharmacies, and the insurance company have been under the veil of secrecy. And that means no price transparency, and that means terribly expensive healthcare for you, and that part you know about. So when you have that rot at the core of the system, it leads to price gouging, it leads to profiteering. There's a massively bloated administrative faction to the healthcare industrial complex. All of this leads to increased cost for you without improving the actual quality of the healthcare that is delivered. And then also, we deserve some of the blame as providers. We often will give inappropriate care, excessive care, or practice defensive medicine, which means that we order a whole bunch of extra unnecessary tests in hopes that it will help protect us from a malpractice suit. So all of these things, starting with that core problem, are what has developed and made things so expensive in this bloated bureaucratic nightmare. So that's the bad news. The good news is, it kind of reminds me of a diabetic patient that comes into my office. New patient, hemoglobin A1C of 12, we'll say, through the roof. But then you talk to them and you find out they drink a case of Mountain Dew every single day. Well, that is an analogy for our healthcare system, because it's not like it's rocket science what is going on. It's the Mountain Dew. It's all the excess in the healthcare system that leads to the price gouging, the profiteering, maybe even a little corruption. And that is something that we actually can do something about, because it's fairly simple. We just need to cut out that Mountain Dew. So that's the analogy we're going to use. It can be fixed, and thanks to the price transparency legislation that not many people know about, that was passed at the end of 2020, there's never been a better time to strike when it comes to this part of healthcare reform. You are going to have your mind blown by some of the stories that come out of the healthcare industrial complex, which we will be talking about in the videos ahead. We'll see you then.